How's it going, everybody? It is that once again Mr. Cinema Junkie with a post-Christmas movie review. I did this kind of last minute because my Christmas movie lineup changed. I had a semi-firm tradition of watching certain movies on Christmas Eve. And that lineup was as follows. I would watch It's a Wonderful Life, followed by A Christmas Story, and then I'd switch gears into kind of the horror-themed Christmas titles like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and just last year I added another title. On a whim, I watched A Christmas Horror Story, which I wound up liking quite a bit, actually. It was that last one that made me think this year, hey, you broke from tradition once. You added that movie to your list, A Christmas Horror Story. You added that to the list at the last minute, and you wound up liking it quite a bit. How about you try something different this year? Add some titles you've never seen. So I threw the whole list out the window, and I went with some titles that I was not familiar with. And I have to say, it was a good move. It was a good move for the most part. I'd say out of 3 movies, 2 of them were definite winners, and the other one was, Let's go with the first one I watched, and that was a movie called Rare Exports. I knew very little about this movie. I'd seen previews for it before, but even the previews were kind of like, what? But apparently there's a group of, what do you call them? Not miners, but like excavators, I guess. These guys are digging in a mountain in the Lapland area. First time I ever heard of Laplanders was in I think it was Faces of Death 2 or maybe 3. I don't know. But the Laplanders, they said that they would bite the testicles off of the reindeer. They'd castrate them with their teeth. That was the first time I ever heard of a Laplander. But anyways, I digress. They're digging into this mountain, and apparently there's this guy who's heading the whole project, and his whole thing is finding the tomb of Santa Claus. I may not be doing this movie much justice in my description, but that's what I got from it. They were looking for a room or a tomb of some sort, and once they found something, he passed out these emergency pamphlets, safety precautions. But it was a list of like bad things not to do. Don't curse, don't get angry, don't throw a tantrum, that kind of stuff, because he, Santa Claus. But apparently there was something really dark going on there. And it took some really crazy twists, and the whole revelation of the movie, the whole story behind it, like who's the real Santa Claus, and how was he able to get into all these houses all around the world in one night. The movie has its theories, and it was pretty crazy. The kid in it, the main antagonist of this whole movie, he was pretty cool. Kind of coming into his own in this movie. But it's definitely dark. It's got a very dark tone to it. I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be more comedic than anything. It really wasn't. But I have to say, on the bizarre scale, it ranked right up there. I was thinking of doing a rating, like a 1 through 10 rating, but I'm going to give these like school type ratings, A, B, C, D, A, B, C. Well, I don't even know how they grade school anymore. A, B, C, D, and F. That's right. There was no E. So this one, I have to go ahead and give this one a definite like an A minus, because I mean it was strong in its offering. It was way different than any Christmas movie I've ever seen in my life, and it kept me entertained. Like I said, that young kid in there, he was a trip. He was a lot of fun to watch. So I give that one a definite A minus on that one. And the next one I watched was one I thought I had seen. I swear I thought I had seen it, but this movie goes by 3 different titles that I know of, and the only thing that looked familiar to me was the very opening of the movie. After that, I was lost. So it counts as a first-time watch for me. But it was called Christmas Evil. It also goes by the title You Better Watch Out and Terror in Toyland. I have heard this being described as the Taxi Driver of the Christmas horror movie. After watching it, I can kind of agree with that, because when I first saw it, I thought of Silent Night, Deadly Night. A guy dressed as Santa, doing what he does. He kills people and stuff. Silent Night, Deadly Night was more on the thing of just like separating the naughty from the nice. This one kind of does that too, but it's almost like he's fed up with society and the way they do things. He tries to pull himself away from all that. But the guy's like full on, like in Santa mode the whole time. He's, even when he's not dressed like him, he spies around like a creep. He's spying on all the kids and, seeing who's naughty, who's nice, seeing who's sleeping, who's not, like Santa. And he has these 2 big books, the bad boys and girls and the good boys and girls, and he writes their names and writes all the things that they do. And he'll write things from, takes out the garbage and is very polite. And then the bad kids will say things like, picks his nose and his hygiene is atrocious. Yeah, things like that. And he works at a toy factory, and he tries to stress the importance of quality toys. And the guys are just like, this is just a paycheck to me, man. I don't give a damn about no quality toys. But he like, the little ounce of sense that he has kind of leaves him. So he goes out on this thing where he's trying to do for all the good kids and trying to take care of all the bad kids. And on the way, he runs into a sordid group of characters that he's like, he runs into one situation after another. And I at first, I saw a guy in the movie and I was like, is that who I think it is? And I had to look it up, and sure enough, it was that dude Margolis, who plays Salamanca in Better Call Saul. I mean, that's probably one of his earliest roles, as far as I know. He looked way young in that movie. I think this movie came out about 1980 or so, maybe a little later. Despite what happens in the movie, despite there's some death, there's some mayhem. I'm hard pressed to call it a horror movie. It's more like a psychological thriller, kind of like Taxi Driver was. The guy gets kind of pushed to the edge, and it has a really kind of strange ending. It's one of those endings where I look at it and I say, I don't want to think that's really how it ends. I want to think this is all in the guy's mind. But all that said, I still wound up liking it a lot. A whole lot. And to be completely honest, I have to give it a B+. An absolute B+. I liked it a lot. It wasn't as gory or as bloody or as some of the other Christmas-themed horror-type flicks, but that's okay. That's all right. There was one scene in the very beginning after he catches Mommy kissing Santa Claus. He's pouting up in the attic or something, and he takes a piece of broken glass from a globe that he broke, a snow globe, and he takes it and he's looking at his hand and he cuts his hand, And I want to know what artery he hit in his hand that made the blood fly up this way and over his hand. Should have just, dripped down this way. But he went, and it went, and shot up over his hand. It was just something I had noticed. But yeah, overall, I thought it was really good. And the third title, an anthology of sorts. I caught it on Shudder, and it was called All the Creatures Were Stirring. And this movie looked like it had, I don't want to sound cliche, but it sounded like it had a ton of potential. Each story had a really good premise. The overall deal just seemed like it had so much promise to it, But each story kind of felt either rushed or unfinished, or like they had several ideas for that story, and they just grabbed the first one they could think of and say, there's their story. It just had that feel to it for me. Like it wasn't thought through enough. Like they had a deadline to meet, and if they didn't meet it in time, then they weren't going to be able to release it when they wanted to release it. So they kind of rushed the process a little bit. It felt rushed to me. The stories had some promise to them. They were a little, you'd have to be about my age to remember the TV show Monsters. But that feel that each story had, it wasn't so much dark, kind of like goofy campfire stories, that kind of thing. I get it. And you're like, oh, I get it. And that's that kind of feel. Each story had that. Like it could have been so much darker. I think the one story I liked the most was one that kind of borrowed from A Christmas Carol, where this guy just hates Christmas and then he gets a second chance and he's happy with things. But even that felt kind of loose. And another story I thought was really good, but still it was a little like, that's it. I can't remember the names of the stories, but throughout the whole thing is set up like these two people are on a date and they go to a Christmas play, and the play is presented on stage with like 3 actors and this one lady I know the lady from somewhere. I just can't remember what she was in. But she comes out and she changes the title cards, and each story is called like Dash Away All, or The Stockings Were Hung, There Arose Such a Clatter. It was like bits and pieces from the Christmas story, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Little bits and pieces, and that's what each story was titled. But sometimes I had a hard time even making the title match the story. It's like, why was it called that? I don't know. It acted more like a distraction to me. And the two people on the date, that of course, that was a story in itself, was just watching the play. And even that seemed kind of cheap. It seemed super cheap. Like, yeah, we'll throw the audience a curveball and throw this in the mix, and they'll never see it coming, and they'll be all shocked. Woo! Yeah, no, I wasn't shocked. I was kind of disappointed, actually. So I think there was like 6 different stories in there, not a 6. I thought 2 were decent. But it was a good effort. It was a decent effort. I will give it that. And for that, I give All the Creatures Were Stirring a D-. One I won't be returning to ever again, unless I'm in the right company. Unless someone I'm with insists that we watch it, I'll be like, sure. I did, excuse me. I didn't care for it the first time I watched it, but since you want to watch it, sure, we can do that. But yeah, I have to say that I was glad to finally watch Christmas Evil. I thought I had seen it, but I thought it was really, really decent. What was the first one? Rare Exports. Why can't I never remember that name? I had a hard time remembering it when I first started this video. Rare Exports was great. I love that feel. That, of course, was a foreign movie, and I like that about it as well. It switched between English and I believe Scandinavian. But overall, I liked it. I liked the characters of it. I liked the kid that was in it. He was like the little hero of the day. He was cool. And then Christmas Evil, I thought was decent, cool. Had a couple of laughable parts in it, but I think all movies do at some point. There'll be something you look at it and go, oh man, I can't believe I saw that. That was good. I believe I got one a B+. A- for Rare Exports, B+ for Christmas Evil, and a D- for All the Creatures Were Stirring, because the only thing that looked like it was stirring was all these stories in a big mixing bowl, and they didn't mix it completely, and it was just, ugh. That was a bad analogy, and I don't care. I didn't think it through, and that's how I feel about those movies. They weren't thought through very well, those stories. So, yeah, it was about as loose as a macaroni fart. So, I don't know if this is going to be a thing for me now, or every Christmas I'll just check out new Christmas, off-Christmas titles, you know. Either there'll be Christmas sci-fi, Christmas horror, Christmas action. Nakatomi Plaza, woo! Didn't mean to flash those horns, but anyways, maybe it'll be a thing for me now. I don't know. Don't know what the future's going to hold, really. I still got a stack attack that I'm just dying to do. I've just got to get in the right mindset, right motivation. I go yawning again. I am tired. I've been up all day. You can tell. Went all natural with the hair. Didn't put any product in it all day. So, yep. That's what I've been up to, guys. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I hope you had an enjoyable holiday. I hope you spent it with family or friends, or even if you spent it by yourself like I did. I hope you at least enjoyed your time. You got to be good company for yourself if you ever want to be good company for anyone else. I think that's how that goes. If you can't be good company for yourself, how can you be good company for anyone else? Something like that. So, yeah, even if you spent it alone in your house, apartment, bedroom, whatever, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you don't sulk. Don't be upset. Life is good. Life is good. So before I get too deep or too weird, I'll go ahead and cut this off, guys. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. You know I do. And I'm going to try to get on that stack attack as soon as possible. And I'm going to make it worth the wait. Okay? I'm going to make it worth the wait. Ain't going to be no 10, 15 titles. We're going to do it to it, man. We're really going to slam this baby home. And there's a point where I look at it and I go, man, this feels like work. Damn it. It's fun when it doesn't feel like work, but now it feels like work. God. We'll see. Till next time, guys, take care. Happy movie watching. I will have a couple of reviews coming up soon. Just off the cuff reviews before I do that stack attack, because there's some movies at the theater I still want to go see. Fingers crossed, I'll go next week and check it out. And if I do, I'll tell you all about it. But till then, take care. Happy movie watching, and I'll see you guys real soon.